All right, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's conversation is about the difference between an administrator and a developer on the Salesforce platform. And potentially if you're in a role where you're interested in becoming an administrator, becoming a developer, this might be a useful conversation for you. Also, if you're looking to hire an administrator or a developer, this might be a useful conversation for you to understand, depending on your business needs, who might better suit those needs. So let's just get started. First of all, an administrator is someone who helps to manage your Salesforce instance and make sure that things run smoothly day to day, as well as to customize and build business processes to support the various functions of your business. So essentially what that means is an administrator will use the declarative tools within the Salesforce platform that you have available to you depending on the products that you buy from Salesforce and the license that you have, the edition that you have. They will use those declarative features. Declarative means point and click, no code generally, to build solutions. Now, the declarative features can cover, I've heard it said many times in many different circles, 9 out of every 10 use cases. So a really good administrator is just that, a really good administrator, someone who can basically cover 90% of those business use cases on Salesforce without ever writing code, which is really spectacular. However, there is still that 1 out of every 10 where you probably need to dive into some custom code. And this is where a developer comes into the picture. Now, every developer should be a good administrator. Not every developer is a good administrator, but every developer should be a good administrator because every good developer should follow the DRY principle, the DRY principle, which is, it stands for do not repeat yourself, which essentially means that a developer should be a good administrator because they should know when they should use the declarative point and click tools and when they actually need to write custom code. Because writing custom code should almost always be a last resort because obviously it's the most complex, most time consuming, and it's most difficult to kind of document and pass along to another employee later on. It's also difficult to edit, difficult to keep up and maintain, and you have to manage version control. There are a lot of different considerations that come when you actually start to write custom code as opposed to using the declarative tools that an administrator uses. So every developer should first be a really good administrator. Now, that's kind of the difference between an administrator and a developer. One is going to write custom Apex code, and the other is probably not going to be able to write custom Apex code. But other than that, they should have the same skills. Every developer should be able to use all of the same tools that an administrator uses. However, with that said, it is much more expensive to hire a developer. And if you are a developer, obviously that means that you command a larger salary, which may be one reason why it's interesting to you to learn Apex on top of the skills you've already developed, depending on your role. But also from the other side of the spectrum, if you have a problem that can be solved simply through declarative tools, it's probably best to hire an administrator as opposed to a developer. So my recommendation for somebody who's interested in becoming an administrator or a developer is just to get started. Download a developer org, walk through some of the videos on this channel, build some things, and see how you feel about it. And if you find yourself enjoying some of the videos that are based kind of around Apex code and building those more complex custom features, then maybe you want to dive in and become a developer. Or if not, maybe you want to stick with being an administrator because it's a really great job and ultimately you yourself should be able to cover 9 out of those 10 use cases. So that's all for this conversation. I want to thank you guys for watching and I will see you in the next one.